Addiction was not uncommon. Growing up, most people that stayed where I was from after high school either ended up working at the local school, or I had many classmates that actually passed away during high school, after high school, because of drug overdoses, suicide. It's just not the best place to grow up, I would say. And my grandpa, he was on a job site and he fell through a hole and broke his back. And before then, he had never had any addiction problems at all. Alcohol, drugs, none of it. And he went to the hospital, got surgery, and his doctor prescribed him a lot of opioids for his back pain. And that is what kick-started his addiction. And it just kind of was a snowball effect. His marriage fell apart. He couldn't work because he worked on cars and did manual labor. And with his new back injury, he wasn't able to work anymore, so he lost a lot of money. And then when he was 56, his doctor were prescribing him fentanyl patches. And he put 2 new ones on the week after that they had already prescribed him some, and he unfortunately overdosed off these fentanyl patches that were prescribed to him by a doctor. And that's kind of where the story begins. And so after that, multiple arrests were made. He was in and out of jail pretty much my whole life after that. When I graduated high school, he couldn't be there. He was still in jail, and that was hard growing up, especially in a small town where everyone knows everything. My mom was a single mom. My dad was in jail at the time, and I went to a private school, a very small private school. And I was the only one in my whole grade who not only had a single mother, but had a parent that was incarcerated. There was no one for me to talk about this with. There was no one I could relate to. All these kids had seemingly perfect lives, and I was just kind of battling this in silence, not really knowing where to turn to. I think that every young person has to make a choice what they're going to do with their life. And for me, I saw what I didn't want to do. And I knew that I wanted to be better than that. And I wanted to break the cycle. My grandpa, my dad, and I knew that it was not going to happen to me. And it was hard, but I think in that moment, I made that choice, and I've never looked back. I've always vowed to always be an outlet for anyone to reach out, any young person that went through what I went through, because, like I said, I had no one to talk to, and I would love to be that outlet, and that's why Stand Up Mississippi is such a great organization. What they're doing is so admirable, because you go on the website and there's so many testimonials, and no matter who you are, there's someone you can relate to. There's someone that looks like you. There's someone that has a story similar to yours, and that's why I'm so honored that I get to share my story, because if there's one little girl that went through the same thing I did, I hope that I can inspire them in some way to know that they can do it, no matter what the odds are. If it's stacked against you, as long as you believe in yourself and you have faith in yourself, it's going to be a hard road, but you can do it. My story is not one of sadness. It's one of redemption and overcoming. And I think that a lot of the focus when it comes to addiction is to the people that are going through it, the ones that are addicted. I feel like the families and the children kind of get thrown to the side, and they're in charge of supporting those who are addicted and who need the help, which they do need to do that. But I think sometimes we neglect the families that go through it, because addiction can ruin many people's lives, but it also affects the people who love those so much that you see them go through these things. I think giving back helps anyone. I think it just makes you feel better when you go to sleep at night. I think it helps you, and I know what I went through, and I know there's so many people across the country that has gone through similar experiences as mine. Realize that you can get through it. You know, it's not the end of your story, it's the beginning. And it's what's gonna make you into the person that you're gonna be one day.